Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, he's back from the dead.
Your
Putting it
show.
on the map, yeah. Saskatoon, right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah.
Your show.
What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah.
Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into the Tuesday edition of your show. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic Tuesday. My name is Gary. I'm the busty host around here. I'm way overweight and I'm hating myself for it. So that's how I'm doing. I hope you're doing a lot better than that. This is, as far as we know, still the only live show on YouTube from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday to originate in Saskatoon. Dare I say the province. There's not too many people doing what you and I do here each and every weekday. So thank you so much for being a part of that. As well, we love to make up categories that we are number one in, and then we say we're number one. Like today, we're the number one show on YouTube that had a shirt lose its sleeves right before we came on the air. I don't know if you noticed or not. We were a little late starting today. That's because I had to make sure my shirt was just right. Got the perfect cuts on there. Can't go on here looking rough, you know. We always look 10 out of 10. So continuing that trend. We also have the greatest cam in the history of cameras. That camera is the Maggie cam. Look at this little rascal. There she is. I love her so. I love how Jake the Snake's all Christmased up too. That's good. The snake plant there. The Maggie Cam for our incredible friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. When you walk in, you will be greeted by Margaret's beautiful boyfriend Leroy. He has a bed right beside the door. He will greet you, walk you in, and then Mike and Rochelle will walk you through the rest of the store, getting you whatever it is you need pet-wise. As well, they got the greatest cleaning station in mankind in-house right there for you to clean up your animals. And they're also open after hours and weekends. You'll see Kirsten, Shara, or Chris at that point, and they'll give you that same service you know and love. Thanks to our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, as she slowly drifts off, possibly again. She knows we're getting close to supper time, so she's going to start waking up a little bit. Tuesdays around here are dedicated to an incredible show we have on the network. That show is called the All Outta Angst Podcast. You can catch it anywhere you get your podcast. You can just Google it. It'll come up. And it's so much fun because of these two men. One you know from all the natural products. The other you know from all the bands. Together they are Uncle Mike and Matt.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hello.
From all the bands.
Hello.
We did it, boys. Welcome to it. First and foremost, I want to say I did shed a little tear as we were listening. We've spent numerous episodes talking about the impact music has on us and the things it can do. And we just listened to Hard Rock Bottom, Front to Back, which is an incredible no use for a name album. That was one of 4 albums we used while we were working in the vineyards. The we being my friend Benji. He was a co-host around here. I was actually having lunch with him, with his co-host Seahawk over at the hospital today. And it was Benny and Doobie and I. And Doobie is no longer with us. He passed away about 13 years ago now. But that album, man, every time I listen to it, there's certain songs at certain points. Like the whole thing is a DeLorean album for me. Like every single note and
You guys
every
were
lyric.
singing every single
It's
lyric,
crazy.
every harmony. That was impressive.
It's incredible. And I remember when I bought it, Benny and I, the great Ben Brody, if you know him, he's a beautiful saint of a man, member of this family. Him and I were driving up to go see No Use at the Owl in Regina.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the campus bar? Was it called the Owl? You remember?
I-
I don't know. Is
I
it that
don't-
sweet one where it's got the double?
I don't know. It was the
Lysol?
university. It was the university spot where all the bands went way back in the day. Something about an owl. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, we stopped at Center Mall and went into the CD store and picked up Hard Rock Bottom. And we hopped into my 1990 Crown Vic that I still love so much and miss each and every second of every day. It was like driving a cloud. And we didn't have a CD player in there. It only had cassette. So we had him a big boombox. So we put the boombox between us and we
You didn't
pumped that
have the
album
tape
over
adapter?
and over. No adapter. We went straight boombox on batteries and we drove. And we drove and we listened, fell in love with it. We ended up sleeping under Brody's cousin's, I guess, homework spot that you sit down to do your homework on campus. It was in like a dorm.
Oh, yeah.
So we slept under his little desk, I guess it would be. Loved the show, and then we ended up going to Australia, and that was one of the 4 albums, that same album that we had bought. And we passed the Walkman around. Each guy got to listen to a full album of their choice. We had 4 of them, and then you had to hand it over. And
You guys didn't split it up where like one got the left butt, or
No,
was it the full like the?
it was
headphones?
a normal like you could go like this, but we were each in our own
It's
lane.
nice. It's
Right.
nice to have stereo too.
Well, yeah, and we couldn't do it if we wanted to because in the vineyard, each guy has his own lane, and all we're doing is lifting wires or we're
Oh,
pulling.
yeah.
So it's like we're not close enough.
Right.
But man, oh man, that album, that's a strong one right there. That was very good. I had to go walk off the emotions for a second, as I tend to do. How are you first? I know how you're doing, young man. How are you, my friend?
I'm great.
You dressed up today? You dressed up?
Yeah, I got my. What is this? Merry Christmas,
You
you
filthy animals.
I'm already on my second round through of the Home Alone watchings.
Nice.
I generally just like pop it on just to have playing in the background, and then I've kind of been doing some diming lately. So I've been learning
Diving.
blues
I love
turnarounds
diving.
and different things. We're doing a talent show with the Cuthberts on
Come
Christmas.
on.
So,
Come on.
So back in the day, I think my little brother and sister, Lynn and Mike, they had set up this like talent show that we would do on Christmas Eve or whatever. And it was whatever. And then we told Erin about it, and she's like, "We got to bring it back. We
Yep.
got to bring it back."
That's
So,
Dude, we did the same thing at my grandparents on Christmas Eve. We put on little concerts and shows. So,
But- so
it's
yeah.
it's a normal thing. I'm with
so
you.
yeah, I had Home Alone on, and I was kind of just like brushing up because like Christmas songs, I'll just like put on a YouTube, and there's some like dorky guy that's awful at guitar, but he's got a great, like tab for it or whatever, and I'll play along with it and brush up on my 7th chords and stuff that I haven't played or whatever. But yeah, doing that, and we're gonna play some songs, but then me and Aaron have a special because everyone is assuming we're gonna do a nice
And you-
beautiful
And you
duet.
don't give away too much because
I'm not. But we've got something in the mix that we're gonna bust out, and it requires a costume change, and
Ooh.
it's gonna be awesome.
I'm thinking Grease Lightning.
Like a Sonny and Cher kind of thing.
Ooh,
maybe?
I
I'll
got
make,
you,
I'll make
baby.
sure
Don't
I've
give
got
it
some video footage of it.
We
to
would
make
like that
sure.
here.
Yeah, 'cause
Absolutely.
It's gonna be dorky and amazing.
Perfect. This is the way we like things around here.
Yeah.
Uncle Mike, we missed you last week, brother.
Yeah, I missed
You
you.
were on the road.
I was on the
Went to
road.
pick up the van.
Yep. Didn't quite come back with it.
We don't need to spend too much time on
Yeah.
this as we're just like poking the bruise there,
Yeah.
but
Subject.
you did get some hours in. You
Yeah,
did
yeah.
some extra
Got
stuff,
some-
which
yeah,
was good.
yeah, it was
Got to
good.
hang out with our
It was
man
good.
Gibby. Shout out to Gibby.
Yep.
Now moving forward, as it is almost Christmas time, as you can tell by the amazing set decorating that we have here. We got a beautiful overlay thanks to Royal Anders. Feeling very festive. I feel like that damn 20 promo code is still good to go
Still
for Christmas
firing.
time.
Still
eh?
time to use it. Get it in. UncleMike'sNatural.com. Damn 20 at checkout. Save yourself 20% off your entire order.
Someone asked me if they can use it in-house too, and I said probably not because it's an online promo code. I also said Uncle Mike's a pretty good guy, so I'm sure you can work something out.
You mention it, you come in and talk to me.
There it is.
We'll get you smelling fresh.
Yeah,
and
'cause-
saving you some dollars.
I'm using 3 products right now.
This is
There you go.
literally, I had like this whole place is built on Uncle Mike's. I was joking I think it was last week, how I'm trying to get through my Old Spice. So
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
get into my Uncle Mike's
That's
deodorant,
what
and it's
I did
lasting
too.
so long.
I was like double and triple
Yeah.
applying just to
Come
burn
on.
through it.
That's the thing.
so
Like you don't want to
funny.
just toss it, right? Like you
No,
still
yeah.
want to use it. I did the same thing. Even
See?
when I was starting, it's like, oh, like I still got all this crap. It's like, well, like
Now
I
get
just
this
waste
problem.
it, right? You know?
Now it's going to be waste because I got from Costco, I got one of the big 5-packs of it
Oh.
too.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this a while ago, I was like, well, I'm not going through all that. So that'll be the backup, I guess, once I run out of Uncle Mike's. But point is, I'm going to be buying some deodorant as I jump on your smelly train. Very excited
Choo choo, Gary.
for that.
Choo
Choo indeed, brother. As Christmas, a great way to support not just Uncle Mike and his incredible business, but his movement, where we're all trying to make the world a better place, do good things. They will happen to you. This is another great way to support causes like that. And the products are all natural and incredible. We said it a million times. We'll say it a million times more. There's so much garbage out there. So many products that have everything inside them that will kill you. Literally. If you break it down, this stuff that they put out there for affordable or cheap, not good for you, believe it or not.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, as they say.
So true.
Always comes out in the wash.
That's it. So we're happy to have you back. We're happy to be here. Last week, Dragon was filling a show to Le Dragoon, as he filled in quite admirably, like he tends to do. It was very
great.
funny. to have him around. We got into the what do we call it exactly?
I
The
think it
do's
was
and
like
don'ts.
etiquette or do's and don'ts of, and we
Etiquette
had it
for-
broken down to the 4. It was like bands,
Take it away.
band-
You're hosting now.
bandmates, venues, and then the fans. So we were kind of like saying do's and don'ts for like a show or whatever.
yeah.
So
To
we,
have a nice smooth show that everyone benefits from.
Right.
So yeah, we burned through a lot. Like, do we want to go into some of them?
This is it. Hell yeah, dude. Let's
we
keep-
did
let's just
a
keep rolling.
lot of the like band ones and stuff, but let's.
He
go
did
to-
so many notes. I'm like, we're not wasting those. We couldn't
yeah.
get through all of them.
Okay,
so like,
let's just
we'll
go to
double
the
back.
venue, and I can even just quickly run through these. So like, one venue, have physical posters up in the actual bar. I really hate when you get to Calgary or get to some place and you're like, oh, did you put some posters up? It's like, oh, nobody pays attention to that. And it's like, well, it's really nice to have for a couple of reasons. One, I've got my dorky little, like, I save every poster
Yep.
because I'm a collector.
I'm trying to build over there too.
Yeah.
Band posters
But
are
yeah,
awesome.
I really do think that those are nice because often, even if the person doesn't come to the show, maybe they're a bar regular and they see this show poster and they'll check out your band online. So it's good advertising. So and it's so cheap. It costs whatever.
Not only that, like you said, it's a memento, man.
Yeah.
It's a memento.
I love posters.
So do I.
I'm old school that
Trying to
way.
get that whole wall covered over there and then over here as well. I just want to cover everything with band posters from all the bands that come through here. So if you have any that you want to throw in here.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
you've been sitting
Well,
around.
I at least got to get you the my 40th birthday show where you
I
did.
got the shirt. I got the
Yeah.
shirt in there. I
But
should have
yeah,
wore it.
yeah, I've got some of those posters.
It'd be cool because it'll look better than the OSB we got up there right now.
Yeah.
Not bad though. And I should say, it's funny we talk about venues because we have officially begun, I guess we can say, looking for venues to host a Dufferin Avenue Media Network show where we will have bands that you will know of, and it'll be a lot of fun and a great way for everybody involved with this network and with this movement of making the world a better place. We can all join together and do a lot of good. There's going to be some donations being made. We're going to help out some charities, do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm taking notes as well with you, as you say. So we need a poster.
Well, definitely.
We
And
need a
we'll
poster.
get
Well,
Chad
you're my
on-
poster
We'll
guy.
get Chad on that.
Well, yeah, I guess Chad's the
I got a
poster
guy.
guy.
I
yeah.
got a guy.
This guy's got a guy. So that's a great
But yeah,
start.
on
Put a
top-
poster up so people know who you are and what you're doing.
On top of that, having the social or the social media event page, and yeah, like I know back in the day it was like no one wanted to like click attending or whatever, and that's not why we don't want to have a bunch of people clicking attending. It's more just like for the day of, I know if Black Hat's got a show and I'm like, oh, what are the other bands? And then you can like go on the event and it's like, oh, this is a speed punk band from Edmonton, and it just gives you some
Information. Yep.
It's nice to know when the show starts, when doors are at, and kind of know a little something about it because you don't want to show up 2 hours early or whatever, or show up and it's like, oh, it was a genre that I wasn't
I
necessarily
didn't
into.
even know what was happening. Yeah. So that's, again, just not for the attendance, yes, no, or maybes. We've already talked about that garbage. Just for the information so people know what they're getting into.
Yeah, exactly. And then for the people and I'm using bars because that's usually like the types of clubs that we play. But so word of mouth is so huge too. So, you're the bartender and you grab this guy a Pilsner and you notice he has a Slayer shirt on. That's the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, you like Slayer? We've got a band that plays,
type of music.
that American thrash metal music.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go about it. And,
Just being aware.
but
It
yeah,
sounds like
I
being
know
aware.
all of these things are pretty obvious, but nothing is obvious anymore. You really gotta say that these are things that should be done, or else they don't get done.
That is so unbelievably true. Ooh, Coach Mazur's already going bowling alleys, contact hunters, or 3 Hall, or Sutherland Hall. He's already throwing out spots for a show. Coach Mazur, this is why I'm saying I have a contract ready for you to take over our Dufferin Avenue Media Network label and get all these bands into those venues that you just mentioned and many more. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and getting some pen to paper. By the way, if you or any of your friends or any bands or anything really, if there's any way we can help you out in promoting your business, promoting you, promoting your band, whatever it is, it's real easy to get a hold of us. You send an email to contact@dufferinav.com. I've been trying really hard not to sing jingles every time because I'm starting to run out of ideas.
Contact@dufferinav.com.
I knew you'd pick it up for me. We also have a website. Check this out. DufferinAve.com at Christmas. DufferinAve.com. It's a website everyone can go to and say.
So go to DufferinAve.com.
Anyways.
So it's agreed he won't talk into the microphone anymore.
Dude, for so long, my entire life, you guys, my entire life in this business, over 25 years, doing stuff like this, I've never, ever been able to do something like what we just did there, something off the cuff, something that is very fun and cool and different that no one else has the balls to do. Because, again, if you go live and you're doing this, there's way too many things that can go wrong. Every single time I've done something like that, I've gotten a talking to saying, you can't do that. You can't do that on the air.
I just did.
Every time.
Well, hot dang, I just did.
Every time we do it, dude, my heart grows, and my heart grows because we're finally doing what I know people enjoy. We're not doing something that we know people don't enjoy, but our boss is telling us to do it. That feels so good.
It's authenticity. I
That's
feel
it.
like
It's real.
people like that.
It's so real. Sorry, I took us way off where we were at, but let's get back into some more of these as we got some time still.
So yeah,
Before
this,
we wrap
this
up.
one I guess would be like, it's not in the venue, but like the promoter putting on the show. So when me and Murray booked our first few tours out east or whatever, we just wanted any show that we could get. So we're like, going all the way up to Toronto, and we're like, we want to play Quebec. So we're like, we don't want to just play Montreal. We want to play Trois-Rivières and Saint-Hyacinthe and all these places or whatever.
Yeah,
so
man.
we would just contact everyone, and then often they would be like, oh, I don't know, like, what kind of draw you have. And we're like, well, we don't probably have that great of a draw, like, kind of hoping that you have a scene that we could,
Right.
we could.
Fill in.
And a lot of those first tours, we would do door deals, which sucks because basically, you go there and then all those things I had mentioned, not putting up posters, none of that stuff ever happens. And then you show
course.
up and there's just the sound person, the bartender, and the promoter. And you're just like, So I would
All
say,
your favorite people when you walk into a
I would
venue.
say- yeah, I would say it's a good etiquette. Basically, if you're promoting a show, if you know you can't bring out at least 10 or 20 people, don't string the band along and be like, oh, I'll do a door deal for you guys. Just don't book the show. It's almost better off. Like, I know it hurts the band's feeling at the time that they didn't get a date for that. But it's better in the long run to not have it, because it's a whole thing to make it to that show. You set up all your gear.
for sure.
And then, it's always fun, and usually like the promoter will buy a bunch of your stuff and put you up in it, and that's all cool. But in general, it kind of it ruins the mood where, say, the night before you played in front of like a couple hundred people,
Right.
and then you go to the next one. So if you're a promoter and you don't have at least a group of buddies that can come to the show, don't book a band.
That's it. That is so, and it's funny you bring that up. When you walked in here earlier today, I was pumping some Endast. Endast, so unbelievable. And I didn't know a thing about Endast until the lead singer, the frontman, Big James, did Uncle Grandma's Storytime, new episode every Sunday night, 7 p.m. It pops out. We had a 3-part series with him, talking about the scene in Montreal and talking
Metal
about
Montreal?
It's incredible how they built that organically. Like, they just said, this is the type of music we're playing. If you like this, come support it. And all of a sudden, after a couple months, you have a following and you're selling out everywhere there. Like, everyone is just so eager to get into this sort of scene. They just made it themselves. And that's, like, Big James, one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met in my life. I instantly became a huge fan of him and his band. And, well, bands, the guys, like we were saying, he's played a bunch, and just such an incredible dude. And I think I hear your story, and then I think of his story. It's like, man, if there was a middleman, a way to get more of those together, because like Uncle Grandma had the same sort of stories. Like, he met him through touring through there because that was their sort of scene.
Yeah, because
and they formed that bond for life. Like, to this day, it was like 18 years later, and he's in here sitting down with us. It was so cool. So that stuff is there. But and to go to your point about the venues knowing this, like, the bands too can help out as well, to be like, if you're an owner, ask the bands that have played in your place before, hey, are these guys like good? Are they going to need some help? Like, what do we do? Like, talk to your local artists as well about the bands coming in.
That's so, and that was, again, I don't know, because we haven't really booked independent tours in a while or whatever, but that's what we did back in the days. We would go on Facebook, probably.
MySpace?
I don't. Well, it could have been MySpace. Yeah, and we would see what are the bands playing in Kitchener, Ontario, or Guelph, or
Yeah.
and you'd find them and be like, hey, what are the venues? Could we play a show with you or whatever? And yeah, a lot of the times it worked out really great. And like I say, sometimes I'm not saying we need to have like a huge show or there's no point. Like sometimes you even have the 4 bands that are there, and say a person from each band buys a shirt and a CD off you. Sometimes that's enough just to get the gas in your tank to get to the next. Like sometimes it's hand to mouth, and we're not too good for that. But
Yeah, man. And going back to the latest episode of Uncle Grandma's, they talked about the Dundurn Festival. You remember that? You guys hear anything about that?
Like, is this
It was like a
recent
3.
one?
No, it was
Like
years and years and
okay,
years
no,
ago.
no.
Years ago, and it was they had a whole bunch of bands. It was like a 3-day festival, and NDOS drove from like Ontario, so they did like a 17-hour drive to Dundurn just to do this show. And they get there, and there's no people. Promoter can't be found. There's nothing. The sound guy was about to pack up and leave. And then they convinced him, hey, can we just play for each other? He's like, yeah, okay. So then they end up just playing for each other.
Yeah.
And then they got the idea to go to, I think it was like Walker's at the time, or Leps, or one of those places.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, is anyone there? Like, can we open up? Like, hell yeah. They ended up doing a pop-up show that night
That's badass.
at the venue for them. Everyone bought merch. Everybody, like, they got a share of the door. And they were promised like an amount of money, like $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
And Big James said that was when I knew, like, these are friends for life. Like, all the bands involved supported them. They not only did they get to eat, because he was yelling at the guy at one point, like, oh, I wanted to just feed my effing band, dude. That's all I want. I'm sick of F Boyardee. Feed my band. You screwed all of us, because they were the only one that came from out of town.
Right.
Yeah.
So then all of the bands came together and said, no, we got you. We got you. And they ended up actually making money, and they ended up having an incredible show, and they bonded with these people for life over that one little thing. So I guess the takeaway there is just metal for sure, but metal and punk rock, man, once you're family, you're family forever, and everyone's always so eager to support each other. So that's another weapon you can use if you're going through all this, to talk to your fellow bands and be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you
Absolutely.
do that?
But yeah, that's a thing where everyone helped them out, and now say they want to go to Montreal.
You're made now.
They've got
That's
a
it.
great connection, and James is going to obviously want to pay it forward once you're in Metal Montreal.
That's
so
the thing,
So it's
man.
worth it. And like on the other side of it, that's why you don't be a dick to people, or don't like, we've had situations on both sides where I know I think it was the first time we played Edmonton, and it was like a Thursday night show. It was us. There's a band from Saskatoon called Delusions of, so Untimely Demise, Delusions of, and then the band from Edmonton was called Six Guns Over Tombstone. And two of those guys went into Striker. They're in the band
Nice,
Striker.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a night where they ended up giving us all of the, like, the out of town bands, all of the money, just because it wasn't like the
Supporting,
hugest
man.
show, but it like helped us. And
That's it.
and again, so we've passed that on. We've put on shows for Striker.
So much
and
love, man.
Strikers had us
So
play a
much
couple
love.
of their CD releases. So it's, again, now this is 15, almost 20 years of friendship that was built on that first night of them being
it.
generous enough to. Yeah.
Those little things. That's what I'm saying. It's just like with us here. Just like it applies everywhere, really. The golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated. That's it.
Yeah.
You're in a metal band. Hey, you're in a metal band. Well, I'd really like it if you were nice to me. Me too. Can we be nice to each other? Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
We just become best friends.
Okay, wait a minute. There's a photo being taken. Let's scowl.
I love you so much, man. Oh, this is so good. Let's go skip it off together.
One thing I should, from our last episode with the fan etiquette,
Yes.
Super Nintendo Anderson.
Yes, shout out.
And another thing, so I've been giving Jesse Anderson too much credit, where he's not the superintendent. He's actually a supervisor level 6. He's our Soup 6. So I just
Super Nintendo sounds way better.
that's so we're
Jesse,
just gonna
dude,
call, yeah.
Super Nintendo sounds way better.
Yeah, so
no one's gonna call him out.
Super Nintendo Anderson is what we're gonna call.
It's the best thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, he said, oh, I'm older, and I'd mentioned, like, it's nice when you're at a show to come up front, when the bands start playing, because it just it makes the energy so much
for
better,
sure.
and you start passing the energy around.
Feed it
and he was
off.
saying, like, I'm older now, and I don't want to do that, but I'm saying more for the younger kids, but still you can show up even if you're old like us, and then once it starts getting rowdy, you can back
Pull
up.
back
But
a
it's
little
nice to to start the show with everyone up front because it just gives the band that good energy.
You know, being old, and instantly when you talked about going up to the front, I think of Uncle Mike and I, along with our buddy Cliff and Sperman, at that No Effects show last year, sitting, and the sound was so messed up. Like the sound was set. It was supposed to be outdoors, wasn't it? There was some sort of reasoning for the sound not sounding.
The No Effects,
the No Effects show, yeah.
Yeah.
No Effects and the Descendants was like an incredible show, and unless you were right in the pit, like you couldn't actually hear it fully.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the four of us, and then a couple of jabronis got some liquid courage in them, and they're like, "I'm going to the pit." So did you go? You didn't go to the pit. You
No.
stay with me,
No,
right? Yeah,
I
Uncle Mike
stayed
and I
back,
were too
yeah.
old, like a year older than those guys.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, we're way too old for that shit. We can't do that. But we stood at the back, sang every single word to every song, had the most incredible experience. But then they come out of the pit like, dude, it's so much better in there. You have to go in. And I was this close. I was like, I'm going to break my entire body. Everything is going to hurt forever. But I want that full experience. I was this close to getting into that pit.
I know we've talked about it before, but what was the last pit you guys have been in? Do you remember?
Oh my God, that's a
I
great
feel
question.
like me, I'm going to say it was the Propagandy
was
at,
gonna say
at Louis.
I was going to say Propagandy's at Sid's Garage.
So that's quite, that's
Back
a
in the
long-ass
day,
time
man.
ago.
Like it's been so long. I just can't. It hurts. Like, and that was at the time when everyone was transitioning, when all the cool people stopped going into the pits as much, and all the stupid kids would start going in and start karate chopping. And it's like, man, well, it's not a pit. What are you doing? This ain't a kumite, bro. This is a circle pit. Let's do this right. You know? Well, I can't remember. Can you remember?
I can't. I mean, maybe DRI.
Oh, so an untimely show. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I should have said DRI and
Untimely
Untimely
demise.
demise, actually.
And they were playing after us.
But usually it's like it's a brief, and actually, I mean, it probably happens more often than I think. But it's like I'll go for a loop or two or one
Feel it out
song, and then I pop out. Like
yeah.
I'm not in there for the whole set, kind of thing. It's like
Oh,
I get a
of course
taste,
not,
I get a
yeah.
little taste, and it's like okay, cool. Or the one, like it would have been like Thrash Zone or Thrash Hard off of Thrash Zone, I guess, that DRI album, where it's like, okay, I got to go in for this one or whatever,
There's definitely ones if you're on that kind of periphery or the edge of
Yeah.
the pit, and then a certain like a breakdown or something comes in, you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm going.
Or if I see you ripping by me and
Yeah.
there's a good chance you're going to grab me for once, I'm like, all right, we'll go in and I get the hell out. But yeah, pits are hard, man.
Yeah.
I need more Uncle Mikes to make them softer.
Yeah.
Let's soften those pits up together.
Two
For
Uncle
Christmas.
Mikes for every one of us.
That sounds great. Hey, LB, what do you say we get some Frankie rolling and get us out of here?
I know you guys think I'm gonna do something cheesy for this
Not you.
Frankie's.
Never.
But not this time. I just got holiday ring toss.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay then. Nothing at all planned.
Hold on, I want to wait till this gets going. All right, let's do it. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. Christmas is here.
Oh, look at that.
Here we go. Here we go. Make sure you get in the camera. Oh, yeah, hold them up. Hold them up here, but they got to face us too, hey? This is good. Holiday ring toss. Here, Uncle Mike's going to go first. Thank you to LB for getting us on the air here today as we had some gremlins going. Thank you to this beautiful man. Oh, that's the worst toss I've ever tossed in my life. As you know him, Matt from all the bands, dressing up as he always does. Normally he plays the piano on the way out, but oh! Sorry, I peeked there. That was a good try. Yes, thank you. All right, you ready? I'm coming in. Nope. Maggie, don't do it. Nope. Oh, Maggie's going to get a bunch of them. To Uncle Mike, thank you for making it in, my friend. So happy to have you back.
Thank you.
As we make our way. Where did you get this?
Okay.
Where did you get this thing?
I don't know, somewhere or no.
We got to get one. Oh! We're running out of time. We're running out of time as we are trying to get the ring toss in here.
Sure.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
hey, that counts. Well done. All right, come up here and say goodbye.
Winners.
To everyone, thank you for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow 4 p.m. For another. It's Wednesday, an all the way around table with Coach number 1 and Coach 2. Going to be very, very fun. And to everyone else, remember, It's all about karma, right? Do good things, they'll start happening to you. I promise you that is a true story, okay? And many, many ways to do that as we are upon the Christmas season. I can tell you right now, the food bank, our friends Lori and Deb and everyone over there, always looking for donations. So be sure to hit them up and make Christmas a little bit easier as they're looking for a lot of food for a lot of people. That's it for today. One more time, thank you so much for joining us to these two guys. Check out the All Out of Angst podcast every Thursday, audio only show. It's so fantastic. And this is what that show is. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be back tomorrow. LB, you're the best. Everyone, Maggie, great job today. Do good things, it'll happen to you, I promise. We love you. Bye-bye.